Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for the Premier League debate show. The Premier League is around the corner. It's literally 2 days away, less than 48 hours away. And a big one as well. Liverpool versus Manchester City kicks us off, man. What better way to kick us off for the Premier League? But we got Daps in the building. Daps, what are you saying, man? Everything all good?
Man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting football back. International breaks, we rode them out. Salute to every single content creator. There's how many has it been, Bo? Since summer? Is it 3? If you really think about like I swear we had 3 Premier League games. Is it in between the last 2? Right.
Yeah.
I'm just done with international break, and no Premier League football to watch. To watch England beat. Who was the first team we played?
Malta.
Malta. 2-0, one of them,
Malta.
2-0, one of them an own goal, and then beat Macedonia 1-0 with, I think, an own goal.
Oh, we drew, bro. We drew that one 1-0.
Sorry, to draw with Macedonia, and I think was that an own goal as well?
Yeah,
think so.
Meanwhile, France are battering teams 14-0.
Yeah,
crazy. But the positive for me of the international break was, I think, Wednesday night where I was going to bed, and usually when I go to bed I put on a little bit of motivational music or one of them things you can find on YouTube. But I fire up YouTube and I see Saeed's doing a watch long for Brazil v Argentina.
Yeah. Well, it was a crazy game, that game, by the way.
I fell asleep to Saeed's soothing tones.
That's it. We love to see it.
Well, I added to that watch time hours fully.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Big up to Charlie, man. Charlie, how are you, man? Everything all right?
Yeah, all going good, bro. All going good. Yeah, mate, feeling quite positive. Things are on the up. We could have an Nkunku debut this weekend. So, yeah, mate, feeling good.
Well, he's back like
Fofana's well back. Yeah.
Well, Fofana's back on the grass today as well. He's not going to play for a while. But, yeah, Nkunku should make his debut this weekend. He'll be on the bench, hopefully.
For real? What? So how long's he been in training for then?
Well, mate, he's like full team training has been this week. But like doing stuff on his own, it's been a while.
Throw him in at the deep end, yeah. Okay.
I think he just needs one more week. To be fair, one more week of the full training, and then
yeah. That's
no,
against
you want
United.
no, you should want him back. He's not going to come in first game back at St James's Park, and surely not.
No. Definitely not the right place to kind of bring him back.
Nah, it's not, is it? It's not. Ask Potts.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah, Potts is here. You know what I mean? We're going to be talking about some of their players in their team today. I think the people need a rest from Guna Lee's waffle. You know what I mean? So Dan, bit of realism today, bit of straight facts. Dan, how are you, mate? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Listen, it's always a pleasure coming on and talk to you boys, man. I always jump on when I can for you, Saeed, and when I got the call, yeah, man, I'm all to talk football. Do you know why? Because football's back, and I can't stand what I've been watching under Gareth Southgate the last few days, man. It's been embarrassing, to say the least. So, yeah, man, back to Premier League football.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We've got Pete in the building. Pete, good to see you back. You know, we got Joe Linton and Bruno Gomes back in safe hand. I mean, Joe Linton, that, by the way, that was not a red card, man. But you know what? At least he's back home and safe and well.
Hey,
you know what
I mean? I was punching the air when I saw that red card because it don't affect Newcastle, and he gets out of South America's safe as houses, and he's back in training today. So happy days.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up to everybody that's watching right now. Make sure you hit the like button on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you want to become a member, press the join button. If you want to send a super chat, do so as well. Get your priority question out there. But yeah, you know what? We have to go straight into it, man. There's been a lot of talk about Jesus' comments. I mean, Dan, you know what it is, yeah? I think a lot of things get out of context in it, but that was one of them where there isn't much context there. You know, if you say that, you know, scoring isn't your strongest point, you know what I mean? When you're a striker and when you feel like, you know, your backup is Eddie Nketiah, how did you feel when you heard them kind of comments, like, initially?
Yeah, man, he's had a bit of a stinker, isn't he? The thing is, he ain't actually lied about what he said. That's what's mad.
Yeah, true.
He's actually been pretty honest. You know what I'm saying? Nothing he said there was wrong. He's actually too truthful. You can't say that.
Yeah.
Man. You can't say that. Like, I looked at the actual quote and thought to start with, I mean, Pete's on the same WhatsApp group, we were talking about it, and I was like, has that been lost in translation? Was that like a different language? What's gone on there? And I actually look at the quote.
Yeah.
I've made it a little bit more than it is, but actually he's pretty much said what they've said he has. Like, they've taken the 3 words and gone, this is what he said.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But actually, when you listen to what he's saying, I think if he would have come out and said, I'm not happy with where I'm at goal scoring at the moment, it's something I want to improve on, but I feel the rest of my game is there, I just want to keep fit and play football, then no one says anything and we move on. But the fact that he actually said, this isn't really the best part of my game, scoring goals, well, you're the number 9 at Arsenal, man. You can't really be saying that. So we've got, at the moment, a striker that don't really want to score goals, a left-back who don't like defending, and Kai Havertz, who is a left-back in the changing rooms. So it's going well, man.
Beat me to it.
Well. Listen,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
All I will say on this, right, and this is what I don't like from what I've seen. Yes, a crazy comment. Doesn't mean he's a crap footballer now. Some of the crap I'm hearing, like, oh my God, it's like, yeah, this guy just needs to go. He's rubbish at Arsenal. They're not going to win anything with him. And I'm like, do you not realise that the reason we were in a title race last season was because of players like Gabriel Jesus? He was phenomenal for us. So, you know, it's one thing saying Jesus doesn't score goals. Probably the best front 3 in a long time I've seen was Mane, Salah, and Firmino. And Firmino didn't score goals, but he was pivotal to what they did. So I don't think it's fair to lay a load of blame on Jesus as a player now, but I think the comments are stupid. That's what I'd say.
Do you know what? That comment right there behind saying man thinks he's Bobby Firmino now. No, he's not. He's won more leagues. Yeah. He's won more leagues than Bobby Firmino for starters, right?
Facts.
And the truth is, at City, this is the thing, and this is maybe a little bit of Arsenal fans, not you, Potts, but some, that people at the moment will say Arsenal play more attractive football than City, right? But that's now City have a striker. We have a Haaland, yeah? Currently, that isn't the way City... City used to play a bit more like Arsenal, yeah? When we played with the false 9. Jesus suits playing with the false 9, right? He does. If you look at City, he won 2 leagues with... Well, more than 2. He won, I think, how many leagues with? 3 or 4 leagues with us. At least 2 of them were playing with the false 9. As far as a forward player... pressing from the front. He is one of the best at pressing from the front I have ever seen at Manchester City. right? And the runs he makes cause chaos, right? He drags players out of position. He can play fluidly across the front three. And I said to Arsenal fans when you bought it, when I got asked, can he score 20 plus goals? I said, I don't know, but your output will go up by 20 plus goals, right? Did that happen last season? Yes, it did, right? Now, if you want to change that, you want to get rid of Jesus and you want to go and get a out and out striker, a number 9, understand your football will change, right? It might change for the better. It might also change for the worst, yeah? Because this is the best we've seen Arsenal for a long time. So I'm with you, bro. Look, he isn't. And the funniest thing is, I noticed at City, the final season where he fully got pushed out wide permanently, yeah? And then we were even playing Torres through the middle, Foden through the middle, De Bruyne through the middle, I think Bernardo through the middle, maybe even Gundogan through the middle, and Jesus just stayed out wide. He started scoring goals because all of a sudden, the minute you push a player out wide, they're not expected. The pressure is less for them to score goals. And I think that's something with Jesus is he puts too much pressure on himself sometimes when he's through on goal. He overthinks it. And
I think so as well. Yeah.
A lot of strikers do that.
What sums him up though, Daps, and you'll know this, right? The goal against Manchester United, where Dalot was still sliding now, that goal shows all the composure that Jesus can have, right? Yeah. But then you go through against Tottenham, and he goes through 1-on-1 and he blasts it over the bar. That just sums Jesus
Raheem
up.
Sterling, bro. Raheem Sterling all over again.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is if you look at the most clinical period of Jesus in the Premier League would be the first season when he arrived at City in January, right? And he came straight into the team.
He went on a mad run.
Aguero got dropped and he went on a mad run as a 9. He looked like a poacher, right? He looked like a poacher. But that was him coming with no expectations. Aguero there, he was a young kid. That's what this, when you play for Arsenal, City, United, Chelsea, I'll put Newcastle there now. When you play in the Premier League, when you've got the English media, the pressure on you is different, right? And I'll know as an older man, as you get older, you handle pressure differently because you don't feel pressure as a young kid. That's why young kids go on these slides and that they have no fear whatsoever. And I think it's just got to him. He overthinks it sometimes. But as a player, he's still one of Arsenal's best players. And mentality-wise, he's one of Arsenal's best players as well. So
absolutely.
Not out number 9. You know when I look at it, sorry to cut you off, Dan. When you look at Jesus, I look at Jackson, I still think for me, like, I'm still not convinced as a number 9. Nunes for me, I'm still not convinced he can be a main number 9 because he's similar as well in terms of being clinical. When you look at Isak, I still think for me, is he a hybrid of a left kind of forward-ish? Callum Wilson's a number 9. He's, for me, clear as daylight. Ivan Toney, clear as daylight, number 9, reliable goal scorer. These kind of cropper players, you can kind of bed them in as a winger, as a striker, like a forward, basically. They're not out-and-out number 9s, and that's where Ivan Toney is going to be so valuable.
That's what more teams are going for these days, isn't it? Like, there's not many teams play with a proper number 9. It's all about these kind of versatile forwards, ones that can play 9 but can also play off the striker or play wide. Like, very few teams actually go with an out-and-out forward these days.
Yeah.
But this is the problem, though. This is the problem is that because we're the same. Eddie Howe is going out and buying versatile players. Like in January, we'll probably look for a forward, but it'll be a forward that could play on the right-hand side. So we'll look to have that versatility, but that's part of the problem, and that's part of the problem for me in what Jesus is saying. If he's a striker or a forward, it doesn't matter where he is, whether he's playing on the right, on the left, or in the centre. You can't come out and say that goal scoring is not part of your game because even now, people like Saka, Martinelli, even people like Sterling, even people like Grealish, they get judged on goals now. They get judged on goals and their performance and how many times they put the ball in the net. People can have great games out on the wing, destroy players, destroy teams. But if they haven't got those stats, if they haven't got those goals and assists, and maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's modern football going in the wrong direction, looking at numbers rather than actual performances. I don't know because it wasn't like that.
But Pete,
now Jesus has to be considered.
But Pete, I agree with you, but that's if we're going by, and this is the thing, that's if Jesus cares about what Twitter says, right? If he cares about what his manager says, then actually it might not matter. It might not matter that ultimately he might have just realised. But I just think it's a bit weird because he went to Arsenal to be their 9, right? He did. And it's almost like
it's almost like he wanted that home. He wanted that new home.
It, bro. He said he got upset when Zinchenko played through the middle for City. I get that, to be fair, but maybe he's just come to a realization that, you know what? Yeah, maybe that isn't for me. And sometimes that's fine. Like, bro,
he said it for Brazil as well. He said it for Brazil. Put me on the wing for Brazil as well. So. It's one of them where...
the actual quote about what he said, Rax. I've got it here. He said, "The goal is inevitable. I believe it's not my strong point, but I do score goals, and I'm there to score goals." That's not him going, "Yeah, I don't score goals." That's not me. I'm not there to score goals. So I think people they hear that and go, right, how can I twist that? I'm going to make that out. Jesus doesn't think he's in front of goal. He's no good. And it's like, whoa, calm down. He didn't say that. And I think Arsenal were taking pelters. And listen, I'm the first one to say when our club's done something wrong. I think people know that. But actually, we're shitting on Arsenal when Kai Havertz is playing at left back for Germany. That's That's nothing to do with Arsenal or Arteta, but let's shit on Arsenal anyway. And then Jesus has come out for his Brazilian national team and said, "Oh, I need to get better at scoring goals. Let's shit on Arsenal again." And I just think it's easy, man. But and listen, I don't care that people do it, but I just think it's a bit OTT from what I'm hearing the last couple of days.
Do you know what, bro? I think the worst thing is shitting on Jesus. If any, I don't know, because I tend to not go on Twitter too much, but you obviously see what the Arsenal fans are saying. Are some Arsenal fans trying to shit on him?
Arsenal fans,
more rivals. Two more rivals.
Rivals, really. More rivals.
Because
you will get some Arsenal fans, though, trust me, they will.
I maybe that's because, do you know what? I've even seen this thing with City and with some City fans, that they don't care about what the team needs. They care about having a big-ass marquee signing so that they can go and show off, we've bought a shiny new toy, right? They don't care if that toy fits what you need, right? But if anyone is shitting on Jesus, I'm sorry, but I'm not saying it's all down to him, but he's been very important to this change at Arsenal. Very, very important. So I find that mad. I find that very mad. If anyone is,
it's just been a bad week, isn't it? Ramsdale talking about he can't concentrate. Havertz at left back. You got Odegaard still missing. You've got Zinchenko, who's obviously.
What do you mean by that? When did that happen? Or was that just in the news that Odegaard's missing?
No, I said he's not playing. He's not playing the team yet. It's obviously for injury or whatnot. There isn't a kind of it's a situation with Arsenal.
Oh, missing as in injured, not like ghosting on the pitch.
Yeah. No, not ghosting. Missing
right. He hasn't played for Norway.
No, he hasn't played for Arsenal in a little while. So I feel like it's not a bad time for Arsenal, but it's almost like everything off the pitch has been a bit kind of like
it's called the international break, mate. It's called the international break. I think every single team in the league is catching a points deduction at this stage. The amount of stuff I've seen, like every team's being thrown in there, bro. I'm hearing now you're not going to be able to play in Europe, and I've even seen people bringing up. Look, I love to slander Liverpool, trust me, but I've seen people bringing up crap on Liverpool that that has already been through court, been dealt with. They've paid their fine, and people going, "Oh, Liverpool might be done for hacking City scouting." That happened about 4 or 5 years ago.
How far do we go back, though?
The Premier League, there's no time limit on how far the Premier League goes back.
But they've been done for it, bro. Liverpool have been done for it.
Yeah, they've been done. Yeah,
that's what I know. Liverpool's been done.
Like it's new news.
The Spurs thing was 2008 with Defoe, so they can go back as far as they want if they want to.
No,
but it's just international break. I'm telling you, nothing happens. This is international break, and people are just clutching. Really are. Why would you even bother investigating fucking Tottenham? It's pointless, bro.
What are you going to take off them? You know what I mean? What are you going to take off them, man?
Might take away their Audi Cup, man. Come on. Like
we'll have their go-karts or something like that.
Chelsea want that League Cup back, man. Chelsea want that League Cup.
I'll have that 2008 League Cup back, yeah.
Fucking hell. Imagine that. Man. Then how far would it go looking for a Tottenham trophy? Jesus.
You know what? Just to stick on Arsenal for a little bit, Dan. But are you confident now? Your team now, in terms of the next phase now of the season, are you confident now with your team? Odegaard needs to step up a little bit. Where are you now in terms of Arsenal? Because you're not far away from Man City. I think is it a point, 2 points? How far are you away from City? And they got
we are. And I think we can go top this weekend if we win and they lose. I think.
You're playing Burnley as well.
Because Liverpool aren't.
Brentford away.
Because if we lose, wouldn't that a Liverpool second or you guys?
You know what? The international break. I'm not even
joint point that.
Who's second?
Let me look at it now. Maybe
I'm wrong. Maybe it's joint.
If we draw, it might be if we draw, you go top. Probably. If Liverpool was second, it would probably be a City.
It'll be a draw. Sorry, draw.
Yeah, City and Liverpool draw. You'll go up.
Draw.
Yeah. There you go. So if we draw and then if you
everyone's got tough games though. Everyone's got tough games this weekend when you deep it. Like we've got Everton away, Chelsea have got Newcastle. Who?
We've got Brentford away.
Arsenal got Brentford. Oh, that's a hard one for you guys, isn't it?
Everyone's got tough games this weekend. Nobody's got an easy game apart from
Everton.
I don't think.
Everton.
No. Yeah. No. Nobody's got an easy game this weekend. This weekend could be the weekend of drop points. Like everyone could drop points. Everyone can lose to everyone. Like
someone's going to drop points in the big teams, isn't it? Because a lot of them are playing against each other. So there's going to be some teams.
Villa Spurs, that's a big one.
Yeah, Villa Spurs is a great one, isn't it? That's a really good one.
I think Villa will beat them.
I think Villa will. With the issues Spurs have got at the moment, I think they might do,
Spurs can't even put a team out, can they? I mean, wow, they're struggling with their 11, I'll tell you. I think they've got like 7 or 8 players out. It's mad.
It's right. Yeah,
I don't know how they're going to do. Yeah.
Dan, just say mate 3 times and everything will be fine.
Yeah. Only 3 times. But no, listen,
your record against Brentford is good, though. Your record against Brentford is good, though. At their ground.
You beat them in the cup.
You had
them in the cup this year.
Apart from the first season.
We beat him in the cup this year already 2-0, and they had quite a strong team actually, and we didn't. So I was quite impressed by that. And last season we beat him 3-0, but to be fair, we were playing and smashing everybody at the time. To be fair, we beat him 3-0 quite comfortably, and it was a different style of play. Doesn't mean we're going to do it this time. I think they're a great side. I've been very, very impressed with Mbeumo. I think he's been fantastic. I think this is a good player. 5 at the back's hard to break them down. It's ain't going to be easy. But
they're Brentford are teams that us lot, we all struggle because they know how to.
They've done us 2-0 this season already.
They know how to. They know how to sit.
They let you knock on the door. They don't let you break through it. You know what I'm saying?
Then counter so well.
Yeah, and I think I think Thomas Frank is a very underrated manager, by the way. I don't think he gets enough credit, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
People love to love on these sessions of like De Zerbi's and play, and I think. Actually, Thomas Frank's doing a wonderful job with Brentford, in my opinion. So, but anyway, you asked me about the season. What do I think? So a lot of people have been frustrated by Arsenal's style of play. I understand there's a lack of fluidity and creativity at times, and we've struggled with goals. And for whatever reason, Mikel Arteta has decided to switch it up, and we're not going for this free-flowing attacking style now. Now, I don't know why that is. I believe it's probably because he looked at last season and just thought, we're going gung-ho. You're going to get tired. You're going to drain out. You're going to get injuries. So I think he's tried to calm things down a little bit more there and go and learn a little bit off of what Manchester City did last season. Having said that, we haven't really been too convincing, in my opinion, this season. Now, the good thing about that is that we're near the top, and that doesn't really bother me. I grew up on George Graham football. So if you win 1-0 and 2-1 and you win the league, I don't care how you play. If you lift the trophy at the end of it, I'm happy. Yeah. So people that have said to me, I don't want Carlo Ancelotti and Diego Simeone at my club because it would be rubbish football. Well, we've got Arteta and we're playing rubbish football now. And you're quite happy because we're winning, right? So let's just be real about things. Winning is all that matters. Now, we have lost to Newcastle. We dropped silly points at Chelsea, Fulham and Spurs. But I do think that we have got across the line in very, very difficult games. We're in a position right now where we've played quite difficult games already, and we've got through them, and we're in a position where we could be at touching distance with Manchester City, and we've just said that we could go top if Man City and Liverpool draw, which could happen. I personally think City will beat them, but I think it'll be a close game. So that's where I'm at with Arsenal. I do think there's no coincidence, Saeed, that Rice, Saliba and Gabriel have been our best players this season. That is our style at the moment. It isn't. This time last year, we were looking at Ødegaard, Jesus, Saka, Martinelli. All these men were getting a lot of credit, and rightly so. It hasn't been like that so far. It's been the 2-0s, the 1-0s. We haven't really blitzed anybody other than Sheffield United, which everybody's done. And we've got a few against Burnley, which everybody's done. Other than that, it's been 2-1s, 1-0s, 2-0 scrape over the line in games, winning the last minutes against Manchester United, not be too convincing at times. But I'm happy because of where we are. I just am really struggling to see how we have strengthened so much from last year. because Declan Rice is a massive signing, but the rest of them, I don't see it. This Kai Havertz, I'm done, man. I can't see much more of this guy.
Bro.
I can't see it anymore.
I think everyone's done, man. I think everyone's tired, man.
Yeah, I know Charlie will know because Charlie has seen him long enough. But when I saw him at Bayern Leverkusen, I was actually quite annoyed that Chelsea had got him because I thought he could be a talent. And he comes to Chelsea and I thought, I'll give him some time, but he don't look too good. 3 years was enough for me to know this guy's no good. And if I'm honest with you, with £65 million and the £35 million we pound of Vieira, we could have got Caicedo with that money. I know it's different position, but this is the sort of money we're talking about. So when I look at the players, we could have got James Maddison, Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, Kudus. They're all much less than Kai Havertz and would have done a much better job. Mount, even. Do you know what, Daps? You say Mount, right? You laugh. I would rather have had Mount than Havertz. Any money. I would rather have Mount than Havertz. I don't even rate where you're coming from. He would have been better in your system.
I must admit, I said in the summer on both of them, do you know what? Everyone calm down and just let them cook and see. If both managers have gone for them, they must see some of it. I have always been a bit of a, I'm not going to say I'm a big fan of Mount, but I've always thought, you know what, Mount puts a shift in. And when Chelsea were, not their worst was last season, but Chelsea, when they weren't cooking, you know, under Frank the first time, Mount was carrying them, right? He really was. The way he'd drive forward, he always seemed like a positive player that wanted to drive forward with the ball. I think you're spot on with this that you hadn't strengthened. I think the one thing we would have to say is, look, I forgot his name now because he's been out injured all season. Timber was a great signing. Right? Great signing.
When is he back, by the way? When is he back?
In the new year. Yeah.
Oh, is it? I thought it's the end.
Yeah, they're saying end of January now.
And he'll have a big impact because he came in, hit the ground running, looked really good, can play right, left, and central. That was a massive signing. But then what confused me is when he got injured, because I kind of got this vibe in the summer that Arsenal and Arteta were doing everything to make sure that they were ready to have no excuses this season. So when Timber got injured and we heard it was I swear initially it was supposed to be longer than that. I thought
it was.
They have to go out and get a replacement, because however good he's looked, if they're trying to fill all the holes ready for this season, the hole's there again. Then you went and loaned out Tierney. I think, this seems a bit confusing. Rice, great signing. Rice, for me, at this stage, him and Mo Salah, I'd probably say, would be the two players in the Premier League that I think are having the best seasons. I think Rice is, because of the position he plays, he's going a bit below the radar, but I haven't seen a bad game from Rice. I think he's been consistent every single game. It won't get spoke on because of the role he plays, right? Mo Salah, obviously, with the goals he's got, he's the other one. But then the Havertz thing, if Havertz was a squad player, I'd understand it, just about, right? But the fact of how much he has played is telling us he wasn't bought as a squad player. He's bought because Arteta really does think he's the real deal. And then after that, if you look at Arsenal started the transfer window so well. Liverpool started it so badly. But in hindsight, you look at the transfer window Liverpool had, the transfer window Arsenal had. I'd say Liverpool had a better window than Arsenal did because Liverpool pretty much bought a whole new midfield in one window. Whereas
Arsenal just swapped Xhaka for Rice, which is an upgrade, but like I don't think the squad's got that much better.
Did he though? Did he? Because if you really think about it, with Partey, did they swap Rice, or was Havertz a swap with Xhaka, and Rice was kind of Partey's leaving?
Possibly.
Rice coming in. We needed Xhaka to stay and Rice to be brought in, not get rid of one. We needed when Timber was signed, we needed Tierney to stay. We've now lost Timber and we've loaned out Tierney. You've got Kai Havertz that's come in as the extra body and it hasn't got a position. We've still got no centre forward after Jesus. We've still got no right winger after Saka. We're still a Saliba injury away from right centre back crisis. We've still got a goalkeeper situation at the moment is all up in the air.
Was it Raya signed now?
It ain't that settled.
It's a clause today.
Yeah,
sign him.
Yeah, we're signing Raya as well, so that's happening. So like
Arsenal, Arsenal getting a bloody nose. You know what? I told Pete last season, man, you get altitude sickness when you're sitting at the top, and this is what's happening now. You've jumped towards the top of the league, and as Dap said there, it was about a season of no excuses. You've got everything, so there can't be any excuses to say things have gone left. We didn't have enough cover here. We haven't got the players in these positions. And I'll be fair to you, Potts. You've said it since before the window closed. There wasn't enough reinforcements, but it looks like the Arsenal fan base are now starting to feel it themselves in real time. Even though you've been ahead of the curve, the Arsenal fan base as a whole are now in real time crying about what people have already been explaining, talking about, putting out there for months now. So the chickens are coming home to roost.
I think
This
the problem is
make or break.
The problem is, Errol, and I'll move on because we don't want to talk about Arsenal all the time, right? But I
Yeah,
will say
yeah.
this lastly,
I
right?
do. We're good. I just tuned in.
On this, lastly, the fans, you're right, they have been doing that, and fans like myself and Turkish and a few others have been saying we don't quite look as fluid, and the bench is still similar. I'm still seeing the same players from last year coming on the bench, and you just get told you're negative, you're toxic, you're a hater. Come on, get behind the club. Man, I go home and away. I'm behind the club every week. What are you talking about? I just got to say it how it is. What do you want me to lie and say we're going to win the league? We're going to win the league. City are fucking awful. Liverpool are nowhere near us. I could do that if you want, but it just be deluded. You just got to say it how it is, man. Arsenal are still short, and I pray that Saliba, Saka, or Rice don't get injured, because if they do, we've got no other box-to-box midfielder. We've got nobody other than Nelson for Saka, and we'll have to play Kivior at right centre back, or hope that Ben White can play back there and Tomiyasu can go right back. And that's the same as last year. So that's where I'm at with Arsenal, man. At the moment, it's not a lose your head moment like some are having. We're still sitting nice in the table. It's been an international break, and now Arsenal fans losing their head. What's happened? England and Brazil have played.
Yeah. Just come back to December time, and then we'll be a different situation, man.
Listen, enjoy the weekend. Hopefully, City and Liverpool draw, and both drop points. We go top of the league if we win.
Well, that's it. That's what we're going to talk about next, man. Big up to everybody who's here, man. Make sure you smashing the likes up on the video, man. Let's get them likes up if you're here. Make sure you subscribe to the guys' channels as well. But Errol, man, big game this weekend. Obviously, we've got Daps there as well. You know what, man? I hope this lives up to the reputation. I hope this is not one of them where it's too early. You know, it comes too soon, if you know what I mean. Like, do you reckon? 12:30 kickoff?
Yeah, well, apart from the kickoff thing, but I'm not really the last. I actually quite enjoy 12:30 kickoffs. I'm one of the few Liverpool fans that actually likes them. Get them out the way with. Wake up first thing. Well, only the first thing. Get to have a chilled Saturday morning, make a nice little brekkie, and then boom, just before lunchtime, you just got a little bit of build up and that, and then the game's on. That's just the perfect start.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. You know.
But obviously, it only sets up the weekend if you go on to then go and win your fixture. In regards to the game, I was having a conversation about it the other day, and I think some of my talking points is, I know when we played I don't think Liverpool have been tested this season so far. And what I mean by that is the Tottenham game could have been a test, but I think Newcastle was again. Newcastle and Tottenham both could have been a test.
Newcastle was a test, but I think you did well in the test, and also you lost a play.
I don't think it's a true reflection.
You had players sent off, which
Van Dijk
changes
got sent off after about less than half an hour. So I don't think that's a true reflection of two really good teams able to go at it toe for toe kind of thing, blow for blow. Same with Tottenham. I expected that to be a test. The circumstances, they was on the upward trajectory, so was we. You know, who's going to come out on top? Fair enough. Tottenham come out on top, but the circumstances allowed them to be able to come out on top in the end of that. I just hope that they keep 11 men on the pitch, we keep 11 men on the pitch, and we genuinely...
one of them ones.
Yeah, I know, and we can measure the barometer of how close Liverpool have really plugged that gap back towards City for me, because I remember was it the 4-1 when Leroy Sané scored that belter, Daps, and I think it looked like early exchanges. It could have been an even game. That season, you went on to win the league.
No, hold on. I swear that was that not 4-0? That the one where Mane got sent off? Was it the one where Mane got sent off and then that changed the game? Yeah, you didn't score in that one. Okay, you didn't score in that. But you were right. It started off proper head to head, and then when Mane got sent off, the game changed.
The game changed. So that in that game, it was very close. But at that point, I thought, I don't know if we are good enough to take on City over the course of the season, but to beat them on a game, it would give you the boost and the momentum. And for me, when they absolutely wiped the floor with us in the end, again, there's a few circumstances you can think about and look into, but I just thought they can still beat us on their day and wipe the floor with us. So until we close that gap and we have a closer game with them, it's hard for me to say that we can go above City. I almost feel like it's come full circle again. We're at a point now where, in terms of the right time of the season, this is the perfect time to have a proper test to see what you're actually made out of against the best team that's out there possible on paper, in form, all the rest of it. And if you can beat them or better them or whatever it might be, that will set you up for the rest of the season to say, well, that's the standard that we bear now. And I think I'm not 100% sure. If City was to wipe the floor with us again, I'd be exactly where I've been all season. We're probably a season short. There's probably a few things that we need to address. And this season will be a learning curve for a lot of them. The new lads getting bedded in, and the old guard saying, right, this is the level you need to be at consistently, and next season, that's where we're going to go for it. If we was to do it this season and we was to get the job done against City at their place, it's been 8 years. Now, Dan Potter's here. Potts knows Liverpool fans have bantered Arsenal for the fact that they can't get a win at Anfield for God knows how long now. 8 years we've not been able to get a win at the Etihad. That is equally as embarrassing. As much as we're quick
Klopp's
to...
never won, has he there? No, Klopp's never won there, has he?
Well, he has, but not in the league. He has, but not in the league.
Oh, not in the league.
He
has won in the league. He's won in the league. His first big win, we drew with Tottenham, and then we beat Hughes, Coutinho, and Firmino.
When was that? 2016.
Oh, no, okay. Klopp's never beaten Pep. That's what it is.
Yeah.
No, he has. Pep was there. Was Pep not there?
No, I don't
what game was this?
I can't remember.
Firmino scored. I'm sure Emre Can scored, and I'm sure Coutinho scored. I'm sure it was like 3-1.
Yeah, that was against. That was under Pellegrini, wasn't it?
Might have been Pellegrini. I can't remember.
I don't think it was Pep.
To Guardiola. I think Guardiola, Guardiola.
So only in the Champions League then. So yeah, we may not have won in the Premier League against them there, but we need to break that.
You have in the Cup and you have in the Champions League. Yeah.
We need to beat that. And I think that's where I'm kind of measuring where this Liverpool side is at as a whole. Get the tough test out the way with. If we can come away unscathed, better with 3 points, we can start having conversations about how far can we push this season, how far can we push City. City's always been the barometer. And I think until you go toe-to-toe with them, it's very hard to pip yourself as favourites in our situation. Potts might feel the same. Maybe this season, after beating them, the confidence within the Arsenal camp may have been elevated a little bit, but in the cold light of day, Potter's just said it, there's still work to be done.
Do you know why? Do you know why this one's so important? Yeah, is I think off the top of my head, and I might be wrong, yeah, but that Leroy Sané game, that might have been one of the last times that, no, in fact, 3 years ago, I'm pretty certain we played you round a very similar time of the season. I remember we had Chelsea, then we had PSG, then we had Liverpool, all in a row, right? And we weren't in great form going into that run, but then we won against Chelsea, won against you. The first leg against PSG, we didn't win. And then we went on to win the league that season. That's where our form kicked in. That was probably the last time, the last 2 years, we've played Liverpool at Anfield second half of the season, right? And this is a thing, I can be completely honest. Us going to Anfield is a long day. Yeah, we've beat you once when there weren't fans there, right? Apart from that, I think we've got a draw there once or twice, but we also know going Anfield's a difficult one. So we need to win this, because if we don't, we know we've got to go Anfield at the back end of the season. And this is the thing with City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Arsenal, our little triangle. We all have to look at our home games against one another, and it is a must.
I disagree with that. I don't think Man City have to win this. I think Liverpool have to. I think it's more important for Liverpool. Because if Man City lose this, no one's going to go, oh, Man City aren't going to win the league. But if Liverpool lose this, trust me, they'll go, oh, Liverpool can't win the league.
But if they do,
they will.
But if Liverpool do win this, then they'll be going, hold on a second. We've also now got City have to come to Anfield in the business end of the season. And that is, it is with all three of our teams, we've got this thing of, we've had this thing over Arsenal for years and years and years. Us losing to you did take a little bit of that away. Like, okay, well, Arsenal have shown that they can beat us. And
if you would have beaten us, perhaps they would have gone, Arsenal can't win the league.
That would have been it instantly. I think the other thing that really interests me with this game is Pep and Klopp are the two best managers in the Premier League, right? Proven, yeah. And this game usually is the game that sets the levels, right? And it's interesting watching them because, Klopp will be thinking, right, are City going to play how they did last season with Grealish on the left? And we all know that Grealish will cut in, lay a ball off to Rodri, or he'll be thinking, oh, hold on, might he start Doku? And then it's a completely different thing. Or then he might be thinking, hold on, or will he play like he did against Man United, where he starts with Grealish, but actually Grealish is cutting inside more and Bernardo Silva's going down the wing and playing as a winger. And this is where these
who they got on their side? Doku against, is it Trent? That would be crazy.
Bro, I'll be real with you. I proper went through it last night, and I want to see Grealish start, yeah? Because
why though? Because Grealish will
let
be
me
suited
explain
to
it.
Trent.
No, but
okay, go on.
Firstly, they might not start Trent at right back. They might start Konate, and Konate might start kind of right centre back, and Trent might be more over there. But secondly, that I respect Liverpool, yeah, and possession against Liverpool is very important, because if we don't keep if we allow them to get the ball, pace and power, they'll be up the other end and they'll be causing problems, right? We have to try and keep the ball. Now, the way we played against you was brilliant, that we had Grealish who can do the possession thing, but then Bernardo Silva was kind of had a free roll to overlap down the left-hand side, and then to have Doku off the bench is great as well. So for me, I look at the big teams and I think Grealish gives us that balance, especially when we haven't got Stones next to Rodri. This having the possession and maintaining the possession is very important, because if we don't, Liverpool could kill us off. They can. Liverpool can kill anyone else.
You know what as well, that's right. With Grealish starting, what it will do is we'll respect Liverpool like you should down that side, because Salah... Yeah. Like if Doku, like I think Doku's class.
That's the other thing, bro. Doubling up on Salah.
The other way, we got to double up, and Grealish will do that better than Doku. Now, if you bring Doku on in half hour to go, that will destroy it, or that will worry at least Trent Alexander-Arnold for sure. And I'm a big fan of Trent. I think he's a quality footballer, right? But defensively, we all know what it's about. For me, Doku running at Trent, that is not a good thing for the last half hour. Yeah. And I think Grealish starting, I think is the right thing to do, and I think Doku coming on, man. But we'll see what happens, isn't it?
I think Said. If you look at the last barometer we've got, right, was City against Chelsea, yeah? We didn't, and Stones, did he get injured in that game, or was he injured? No, he didn't start that game. So he didn't start the game against Chelsea, right? Grealish also didn't start that game against Chelsea. And then basically we started playing Chelsea's game, which was ultimately, tit for tat, back and forth.
Bro, your team was so attacking.
But that's not the City way, right?
No.
Because we didn't have the control. Kovacic can also provide the control next to Rodri, but Kovacic is injured as well. So we haven't got Kovacic or Stones, the two that can sit next to
What about Nunes?
No, for me, bro, I'd be starting Rico. I'd be starting Rico.
Wow.
Because Rico...
That's why I'm looking at this game, the midfield. I think midfield, it's going to be interesting to see how Liverpool do in this midfield, because obviously, I did say that was one of the key things I was thinking. If they could get exposed that midfield, that's where it could hinder their title challenge. This one they play against Rodri, Bernardo. I think it'll be Rodri, Bernardo, and Foden in midfield, or possibly Rodri, Bernardo, and Alvarez. Sorry, not Foden.
In this one, I'd be going with. Honestly, I would be going with Rodri, Rico Lewis, Bernardo, right, and then I would be going with Grealish, Haaland, and Foden. Right, because Foden...
Alvarez.
Yeah, no Alvarez in this one, bro. And the reason is Foden really likes playing Liverpool. Really, really likes playing Liverpool. Alvarez has travelled back from Brazil as well. So it's hard. I was trying to work it out how I could have Alvarez and Foden. But this is Liverpool, bro. And I don't want to go gung-ho against Liverpool, right? Let's go back and just make sure we keep the ball. Because if we keep the ball, we make it a lot harder for Liverpool.
Mad? You went gun-ho last year. I remember, was it last year or a couple of years ago when Salah and Mane kept getting in behind and they had a couple of chances, and your defense was all over the place. Yeah, before. So I feel like for me, obviously Nunes for me is going to be I don't know, but I just think it's going to be box office in this game, because he just causes chaos. And chaos is what, Liverpool need.
I don't like, bro.
Salah.
However much I mock him, I fucking fear playing him, because he's just that guy.
I like him. I've always liked him.
Yeah.
I like him.
Just fear him popping up.
We know what it is with Nunes. The one thing that is the only guarantee is he is going to be unpredictable.
Yeah.
And that for a large part, it was a bit of an Achilles heel for the Liverpool side, because the players at Liverpool probably didn't really know. Same with Diaz to an extent. Didn't really know what he was going to do or how capable he was. But I think the Liverpool players now, the amount of assists that Nunes has provided more assists for Salah in 18 months than Mane did in his entire Liverpool career.
For real?
No way.
For real.
I didn't even realise he had that many
assists.
Why?
No, hold on a minute. You know why, though? Because Salah wanted to be the main guy, though. So Mane was like, yo, F you, man. Come on, man. Maybe had a falling out at Burnley.
Maybe a little bit of that. Think how long they was together, and think how formidable that forward line was at that time. You'd have expected Mane and Salah to assist each other more than obviously what the numbers suggest.
Yeah.
Now,
of course.
The thing is, Nunes is starting to get, even though he's still got that air of unpredictability to the opposition team. Liverpool players seem to now be on the same wavelength for them a lot more. So Trent has provided some unbelievable assists for him. He's linking up with Salah. Salah's got a good chemistry with him. Jota's still a very integral player to that front line as well. So we know how to get the best, or we're starting to understand how to get the best out of Núñez, which is a blessing for us, and we're enjoying it as Liverpool fans this season. But I can understand why opposition fans still take the piss, still want to mock him. Fine,
but still don't want to play him.
Exactly, and that's it, because you don't know what he's going to do. You don't know how capable he is, or what he can just pop up and do on any given day. And we'll take that. We will fucking take that, because that's the type of forward we need. Someone who's a little bit more elusive and a bit of an enigma, but who can actually cause damage to opposition teams. He's perfect for this game. For me, he's got to start. He's probably in the best place he's been in terms of football and wise since he's joined the club. And while he's in a hot streak, he might not be a full purple patch. His numbers in terms of goal output might not be Haaland-esque, but for his own standard as what he set for a Liverpool side, he's in the best form I've seen him in a Liverpool shirt, and he needs to continue that and kick on now, especially as we get into that Christmas period. So a good game against City, and it could be long for a lot of teams come the other side of Christmas.
Errol, would you put Konate back in, because he's back in training now, and so is Curtis Jones? Would you stick them both on the bench?
I would probably go for Konate.
I want Konate to play,
because I think when we played, we played you in the FA Cup. It was the semi-final. I think Konate played in that semi-final, and he was like,
we were poor though that game, bro.
Yeah, he was below your own standards.
We just come back from Madrid, didn't we?
He was like.
Do you know what?
But then again, last time we played you last season again in Anfield, Joe Gomez had the game of his life, played out of his skin. He'd been having a terrible season, played absolutely out of his skin, had a belter, pocketed Haaland. Haaland was quiet, didn't do nothing, and Salah pops up with the 1-0 winner. So,
I think the key here, though, is for me is this is at the Etihad, and the key with Liverpool at Anfield is Liverpool's preferred style of football is perfect for Anfield, right? It's rock and roll, pace and power, fast attacking, and that's why every time we go there, Pep's learned over the years, it's all about nullifying the crowd, keeping the ball, slowing the game down, making Anfield don't commit fouls, because a foul or lift anything will lift Anfield. The minute the Liverpool fans get loud, that's when Arsenal saw it last season. I think Xhaka had a moment or something. That was it. The whole of Anfield, and next minute it's 2-2. So whereas it at the Etihad, it's a bit different. It is a bit different, and this is where yeah, absolutely, of course it is. You've been before?
Yeah, I have. I went when it was the 2-2. Not too far. I think 2 seasons ago, the 2-2. I'll tell you what, last season, we absolutely battered you in the second half. We was lucky to get.
What was the score?
2-2. That was a brilliant game.
Yeah. Last season, you man scored first, went 1-0 up, made noise for literally 30 seconds, and then that was it. I didn't hear you again. A few of you left, I think. But I think the thing is, I want Konate, because I think whether it be Grealish or Doku, I think we can draw fouls down that left-hand side, whichever one it is, right? Because
I think it's a midfield, man. It's a midfield battle for me. If Rodri can get that midfield, then I think, you know what, it could be an interesting game, man.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
How does he do well?
Yeah, we have to look at that area, because McAllister is not a 6, right? He isn't. Yeah, he's doing a sterling job playing there, but now he's got to play against a team. This goes back to Errol saying about not being tested. He's got to play in the 6 role, or even an 8, getting back and playing in the 6 role against a team that has a lot of the ball, which means you're doing a lot more chasing of the ball, which means his legs will get tired a lot earlier. And that's not just him, that's all of the midfielders that are having to put a shift in. It's different when you're having to put a shift in for not, the first 30 minutes, first 40 minutes. It's when it gets to the 60th, 70th minute. And then that's where I say, you bring on Doku, right, when everyone's pretty knackered from chasing the ball for half the game. And I just think, I think that could be where the game is won and lost, because it's, will Trent stay there? Or will Konate really, really cover there to allow Trent to go into the middle? And I think we just have to target it, whether it be with Grealish and Bernardo, or whether it be with Doku by himself. We just have to really target down there.
The area that I'm, and you can say it's the midfield. The area where I'm most apprehensive is our left back, Tsimikas. Now we know the levels that Robertson's been able to.
Yeah, 100, bro.
Even though I think Tsimikas is a capable understudy, you're going against obviously the best team. And I don't know who will play out on your right hand side for you, really.
Foden or Alvarez, probably.
Alvarez, that worries me. I'd be more scared of Alvarez, but I understand that Foden has had a lot of joy playing Liverpool down the years. So that's the area for me. A lot of people always make out the Trent, that right hand side behind Trent Canate. People always, I think it's almost become quite lazy commentary to an extent, because when you watch Liverpool enough, you can actually see that our left-hand side at times has been a bit of a weakness for us and a bit of a sticking point. And now that Robertson's not there, it's even more so. Yeah. I think the one thing that's made it not look as glaringly obvious as it could have been is the fact that obviously Van Dijk occupies that side as well. Yeah. And his form has been immaculate over the last couple of weeks. So teams are still trying to target it, but if they're getting past Tsimikas, they're struggling against Van Dijk. Well, Van Dijk's going to have his hands full with Haaland. So to a man, to a man, Tsimikas has got to be on job. If he's not on job,
well, you've got like the drop off of without Robertson. It's big, bro. Like I honestly believe Robertson, for me, if I sit here and try and think about left backs in Premier League history, I'm putting Robertson probably in my top 5 Premier League left backs of all time, because I think going forward, unreal. Going back, unreal. Against City, he's been a shithouse over the years as well. He's a leader, all of it, yeah. And I do think, last season everyone said Fabinho got burnt out. Well, do you know what? For me, fullbacks is the hardest position to play on the pitch, especially if you're up and down, the way Liverpool play football. That's why Reece James, at his age, he's already catching so many injuries, because it's not just jogging about. It's not floating about like if you're a midfielder. It's hard sprinting back and forth. And I think Robertson this season, he might come back better, because I think probably the break will do him a good thing. But I think
100%.
I don't think it's been spoke on enough how much Liverpool last season even missed, because Robertson was not the same last season. Everyone spoke about Fabinho and how much they missed him because he'd burnt out. I think it's very similar for Robertson. I think he could come back from this. So you're right. I would be targeting you down the wings, and that's one thing we didn't do against Chelsea enough. To be fair, we were trying to play it a bit too much through the middle. We need to target the wings a lot more, like we did United.
100%, 100%. You know what? That's the only the other game that's on. Obviously, you got Newcastle and what's it called? Chelsea. That's another game that we can't, we can talk about as well. I mean, I think this is a game where it will determine where I think Chelsea are at in terms of the league as well. When you deep it, because this is a game where I'm looking at Chelsea thinking they need to win this one as well, because it's all well and good getting the draws against Man City and them kind of confidence booster ones. But this is where I feel like Chelsea now, they need to climb up the ladder, man. They need to climb up the league. I think.
Sorry, Said, I'm going to leave here now because I've got to jump on.
Yeah, man.
But love to everyone. Errol, we'll chop it up. We'll chop it up next week.
Big up, man.
Love to everyone, man.
Stay less.
In a bit.
Big up, bro. Big up, Daps, man. Big up, Daps. But yeah, man, chat to me, Chad. How are you feeling, man?
Reasonably confident, mate. I think, as you say, we've put a couple of decent performances together, Spurs, Man City, but what's missing from Chelsea at the moment is stringing a run of wins together. We haven't gone and won sort of 3 or 4 games on the bounce. I think that's the next step for us to take. I think that we're in decent form. You could probably say the international break maybe come at the wrong time. When you've played 2 games like we've had before the break, you just want to keep going with that momentum. I don't know what we're going to be like when we come back. But look, if we're going, Newcastle's a tough place to go. Look, forget that they've got all these injuries. St James's Park is still one of the hardest places to go in the league, so it's not going to be easy. But if we're serious and we're going to try and move ourselves up the table out from 10th place, then these are the games we have to go and win these games. Newcastle, I think, are slightly there for the taking. It's still going to be tough, but with the players they've got out, they're not going to be at full strength. We'll pretty much be as full strength as we can be. And I think if we go and play how we've played against City, how we played against Tottenham for large parts, then I don't see how we don't win that game if we go and play how we've played in the last couple. But again, that's kind of ifs and buts. But look, I think we've got the players to do it. Cole Palmer's in brilliant form. Raheem Sterling is starting to show some decent form. Nicholas Jackson's got 4 goals in his last 2 games. Defensively, we're pretty solid. Reece James seems to be finding a decent bit of form. Look, Newcastle have got threats. Isaac's a threat. So is Anthony Gordon is doing reasonably well as well. So look, it's not an easy game, mate. But we have to go and win this game because you know what? We're 10 points behind Spurs, 9 points behind Aston Villa. If fifth place gets a Champions League spot or not, like our next 3 games, Newcastle, Brighton, United, like all teams above us, we need to win these games because otherwise, like if we come through this like run up to Christmas and the New Year and we're say 12 or 15 points off the pace, which could be a possibility, Champions League qualification's gone by the New Year. So we have to make sure that we close that gap and we're maybe between 5 to 7 points off the top 4 or the top 5 come that point in time. We need to win. We have to win. We have to win. I don't want to say it's must win after 12 games, but it almost is given the situation we're in right now.
Charlie, do you feel as though top or Champions League spots is still the objective for Chelsea this season?
Has to be. You can't. Yeah, I mean, it can't change after 12 games. It has to be until that's physically not possible anymore. That has to be the aim. Look, we spent a lot of money, as everyone knows, and that's going to require us at some point in the next 2 years, preferably as soon as possible, to get in the Champions League. Like we have to get that revenue for it, and we need to be in the Champions League. We need these games on a regular basis because otherwise we've got too many players to play once a week. Like we need these games, midweek as well, so we've got a chance to rotate and use the squad. So look, Champions League has to be the aim. I still think it's doable, but it requires us in this run to win 3 or 4 games on the spin. If we could go and win our next 4, which, all right, in theory, are winnable. Newcastle, Brighton at the Bridge, United away, and Everton away. Those are winnable games. I'm not saying we are going to win them, but those are winnable games. If we can get maybe 10 points from those, then I think we put ourselves right back in the conversation for the top 4 or top 5 places. But if we get a couple of wins, lose a couple, then I think you can almost forget it. So this game for me is more important for Chelsea than it is for Newcastle. We just got to start stringing a run of wins together.
What are you thinking, Pete, man? Another tough game. Another, it feels like you've got a massive week. You play Chelsea, then you play PSG, then you play Man United. Boy, that is tough, man. Like, people don't realize, man, like, it's tough games.
Like, your audio is like a Dalek, man.
Your mic's crackling, bro.
Your mic is like a Dalek, bro.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now properly? Or is it still
crackling? Like a Dalek, man, but it's all right.
I think he understands you all the same. Go on, Pete. Run it.
Go on, Pete.
No, it's I think Charlie's right. Pressure's on Chelsea, not on us. And
the pressure's never on Newcastle, is it?
It's never on Newcastle.
I haven't even had a chance to kind of explain. You just jumped on me straight away. I agree. I do think that the pressure's on Chelsea, and for the points that Charlie said, they have to get Champions League this season. You can't spend £1 billion in 3 windows and think that you can just continue to spend that way. They need to start recouping money. Yes, they might have sold a few players here and there, but that money, that big spending, isn't going to last forever. It's not, and something's got to give at some point, and they've got to have trophies in the cabinet. New trophies with the new ownership, and you are going to need to continue to play at that top level. So it is on them, but I'm confident. We've got injuries, of course we've got injuries, but at the same time, we're at St. James's Park, and St. James's Park for the last 2 years has been a tough place for every team in the Premier League to come and get points. And we haven't given those points up easily at St. James's Park, albeit Liverpool this season. But other than that, we're a tough team to play. Like Potts, you're the test that. You were there at St. James's, and we make it difficult. And I to a point, I like it when people say, opposition say, "Oh, they've got injuries." Yeah, we see it as an opportunity because that's when we go dogged and we make it difficult and we grind and we battle and we show the other side to Newcastle United because we have another side to Newcastle. Eddie Howe has another side to how he gets his players playing. We have that silky, nice football that we play where we just brush teams aside like we did against Palace 4-0. But then we've got that team that can dig in and make it difficult. And look, we could talk about injuries, and we talked about it on our preview last night, Charlie. We talked about who we might have back, who we may not. We've got no idea. Like I can even tell you,
it's back, right?
Isaac's been back in training for a couple of weeks, so there's a high chance he's going to be starting. But outside of that, Miguel Almiron could potentially be back. Botman could potentially be back. Longstaff could potentially be back. Barnes has been training for the last 2 weeks. He's back early from his injury. So it could look completely different. Or we could just have Isak back and the rest are still not there. We don't know. But regardless of that, we're at St. James's Park. As a Newcastle fan, I'm confident we can get the points. Chelsea, yes, I've had a good upturn. But they've been rocky as well. We talked about the Brentford defeat, and they've gone to teams and not played well. And you know, although their away form is decent, they've still had moments in games where, you know, you go back to the Tottenham game, you think without the sending offs, Tottenham could have quite easily won that game. And the outlook's then very different going into the Man City game. So it does ride on moments. And who's to say that moments don't ride with us on Saturday to get the points?
Pete, are you more confident going into this game against Chelsea than you were going into the one against Arsenal, or do you fear more for this one?
Honestly, I'm probably about the same.
Because of your injuries, or
yeah, mostly because of the injuries. Because you want your big hitters back, you want options off the bench. But you know, if we can get Isak back and a few others, if we can get Isak, Miggy, hopefully, fingers crossed, to Botman and Longstaff, like we're not far off a team, although they've not played much together, that can go and beat Chelsea. We beat them at St. James's Park last season, albeit they've got new players, but so have we. And so I'm like I say, I'm always confident when we get to St. James's Park. You know, the thing that maybe we're looking at is that the likes of Raheem Sterling's on form. You got Nkunku maybe back. There's one or two other players, but again,
is he back? Is he back?
Well, it might be on the. Hopefully, he's going to be on the bench. Yeah, he's been in training this week, so yeah.
Some are saying that he might play. Some are saying he might not. But we're like when you get those sorts of players back, you think they could come on and make a difference. But equally, you got to think about it. They shipped 4 goals against Man City, so there's going to be opportunities there for us at our home ground. So
for me,
like I say, I'm always confident.
Cole Palmer and Sterling have pretty much turned Chelsea's season around in the last few weeks for me. Like them two are the reason why people are now saying, "Oh, Chelsea don't look as bad." Because without them two, let's be real, like in the front line, there ain't much else happening. Do you know, you can talk about Mudryk, you can talk about Jackson, talk about Madueke and all these guys, but really they're not cutting it. Well, those two are killing it, in my opinion. I think Cole Palmer, when we look back now,
close to signing of the season.
I would say so, Errol. I would say so, Errol.
Close, you know.
I would say so. You know, people talk about Maddison and talk about Rice and talk about all these guys that come in Szoboszlai. For me, Cole Palmer, that is a very good signing for Chelsea. Very good signing.
He's settled in so well as well. He's just kind of naturally settled. I know he scored 4 penalties, but you know the way he's kind of come in, and I'm not saying he's their best player in that, because I think Conor Gallagher deserves a couple of shouts, but I just feel like the way he's come in, he's got that aura, man. Like sometimes I don't know if it's just because he's come from Pep Guardiola.
Chilling with Pep, man. Come on.
Yeah. He's just got that kind of like, I'm better than you lot, man. I've been chilling with the best manager in the world, man. You know what I mean? I think Sterling's been in form as well. I reckon Chelsea are going to click. But the problem is, though, if you don't start picking up points, it kind of counts for nothing, though, doesn't it? When we can't be saying to a billion spending club that, you play well there.
Can I ask you a question, Charlie, dead quick?
Yeah.
Have the Chelsea fan base, because I don't really interact with a lot of Chelsea fans, to be fair, have you warmed to Poch? Or is the joy still out?
No, mate. I think, mate, a lot of the match going fans are pretty much on board with him. Yeah, they're like, you know, when we lost to Forest and we lost to Villa and whatnot, there's a bit of discourse from certain people. But generally speaking, like, mate, the fans are behind him. Like, I think we have to be anyway.
That's big. That's massive for you.
It's big for us. But do you know what? Like, it's as you boys probably know, like when you can see when you can see progression being made, even if the results haven't been the best this season, and they've not, but you can see we are making progress. You can see patterns of play. You can see an identity starting to form. You can see players are improving. You can see we're creating more chances. We're scoring more goals. And whilst that hasn't always translated into wins, that's something to be positive about and get behind, because we haven't seen that for sort of for 18 months or so. So, like, he's going in the right direction, but the reality is, mate, after 12 games, we're sitting in 10th place. So that isn't good enough. And we're aware of that. But also got to be aware that a new team doesn't get built in 12 games. So there's a little bit of a balance in that to find between the two. Like, yes, we need the results, but we also need to accept that it's going to take time. But then the same thing, time can't be used as an excuse for poor results. So it's finding and juggling that. That's why I always say, like, I think right now Chelsea's the most difficult job in football, because you've got all the pressure, you've got all the new players, and you've got to make it work as quickly as possible. I don't think there's any other job out there like that right now. So for me, it's probably the toughest job. I think he's doing a good job right now, but no doubt he does have to improve, and we do have to get the points on the board, and we do have to get as close to those Champions League spaces as possible. But I think things are starting to come together a little bit. Players are coming back from injury. We've picked up a couple good results. We just got to keep riding that wave. And mate, if we can get like 2 wins from the next 3, if we can beat Newcastle, if we can beat Brighton, if we can beat Man United or whatever, then suddenly the picture changes a lot, and people are talking very differently about Chelsea. You only have to win 3 games, and suddenly it all changes. So look, I'm confident that we can do well. We're on the right track, but like, as I say, like that can change very quickly. Fans can be with the manager. You lose 2 or 3 games, and then that quickly changes again.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I think there has to be pressure on Chelsea to at least challenge for the top 5 positions. They've got to get
100%.
amongst it, man. Yeah, I mean, I think whether they sack the manager is a different situation, because you don't know what Todd Bowley's going to do. But listen, man, I feel like for me, it could easily turn with Pochettino. He's a former Tottenham manager. It's not like there's got any affinity with him. It could all change any minute. So they just need to get the wins in, man. So as long as they get the wins in, I think they'll be calm, man. So it is what it is, man. But like I said, are you confident for a win then, Charlie? Are you saying more draw?
Mate, do you know what? It's one of them games. I know it sounds stupid. It's one of them games where genuinely all 3 results have got like an equal chance of happening almost. If you get what I'm saying, you could easily see it going. Like Newcastle could win, we could easily win, or it could be a draw. Like, I feel confident. I think just because of the injuries that Newcastle have got. Like if we're going to go and win at St James's Park, like this is probably as good a chance as any that we're going to get. I do back us for a narrow 2-1 win, but I equally wouldn't be surprised if we lost or it was a draw. It's one of them games where if you were betting or whatever, you probably leave that one off the accumulator because it generally is so hard to call.
Facts. 100%, man. But like I said, it's going to be an interesting game. We've got Everton as well, and they're going to be having the whole of. Listen, I heard they got banners. I heard they got pyro.
Have you heard that Sky are apparently going to turn down the crowd noise because of the protests against the Premier League?
I didn't hear that. I didn't know that. That's going to be a tough game, man. Like I said it to people. It's a tough game beforehand anyway because they were in some good form. But
bro, Deitch is going to school you boys.
Bro, it's going to be us against the world, man. You know that kind of energy when you have us against the world. It's different, man. So I don't know. Do you reckon Everton rise with this pressure and you actually see a better Everton?
Or do you think they will crumble? Mate, if you've been wrongly, well, not wrongly, but if you feel you've been wrongly deducted points, bro, you're going to be fired up. That's going to bring more out of you.
I think they'll take something, man. I think you'll draw. I think it'll be a draw, that game, Everton United.
Yeah.
The problem for me is with Man United, because if you look at any of the other teams on this panel, you probably go into this game and you've got a manager that could navigate yourself through that and be able to play a certain way to quieten the crowd down. With Eric Ten Hag, you just don't know. He's probably just going to go right into the minefield and put his foot right on it, and boom, Everton could be 3-0 up after 20 minutes. That's why I think Everton will probably win the game, because I don't think that Eric Ten Hag will see it as a game where he has to navigate himself carefully to stop himself from losing. He will go in and think, we're Man United, we're going to win. And I get that to a point, but you've got to navigate yourself through these games, because these are the games where you slip up. And you don't want to get embarrassed at Goodison Park. Like you don't want to. You don't want to be that team.
Bro, are your forward line going to do anything?
Well, Hoyle's
Rasmus is out, injured, isn't he?
Yeah, it's 50-50. It's 50-50.
Well, he scored no goals in the league anyway.
Martial, man.
50 million down the drain, mate.
50 million down the drain. He's going to have to turn up, mate. You know what I mean? But to be fair, he's got a different record. He's actually got a lot of goals against Everton. He's actually his like kind of team is Everton. So he loves scoring.
So that's his level, isn't it?
You know,
that's his level.
That's his level, isn't it?
That's his level. Yeah, probably that's his level. You know what I mean? So, but no, I think for me it'll be a difficult game. But United should be able to get the points there, man. We should be able to get a 2-1. You know what I mean? I don't know, 1-0, whatever it's going to take. But United, as much as the most informed team, we have been scraping a lot of games, man. So
bro, that Luton game was horrendous.
Horrendous, man. So big up to Richie, he's an Everton fan. He says 1-0 Everton, man. Of course, I'm going to say that, mate. But
that just shows the contrast, Saeed. That just shows the contrast because Charlie mentioned before about obviously the style of play and what Poch is trying to implement might not have yielded the results in terms of the points total, but they can get behind it. They can see the vision, for want of a better phrase. Whereas you seem to be the opposite side of the spectrum. At the minute, you have scraped the results, but you can't find a Man United fan on fucking Mars that'll tell you they're convinced that Ten Hag knows what he's doing right here, right now. So that's the difference. And, you know, Charlie said before, it's a balancing act. Your scales are tilted. How do you start to balance things back out for Man United? That is the biggest problem, I think. And you mentioned before about Chelsea being the hardest job. I still think it's the Man United job. I think that job is
tough
impossible.
as well. It's tough, yeah.
Impossible. It's an impossible job. You can't. The fan base is too big to keep happy, to keep everybody on the same hymn sheet. You know, you've got players that are paid ridiculous wages that aren't putting it in for the team. Then you've got players that aren't good enough simply to be in the team. You've got a manager that's still getting probably, you know, struggling with players that aren't on the fringes. You've just got too much problems right now for him to really set a plan in action and see it through and deliver it. I just don't know how you find that balance. And I don't think any fan has really got an educated guesstimation to say, well, at least if we went this way, this could potentially happen. You're just winging it.
Yeah.
Can I?
What is it? Yeah, go on.
Can I just shout out the brothers in arms, Forest, Wolves, Everton of all teams, Sheffield United, Daps's Man City, and my brother just above me, Charlie, Chelsea. The brothers that stuck the vote in on the Premier League to get those Saudi signings over to St. James's Park. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And now we're just going to skip through that list.
This guy.
Shameless.
Do you think the pressure will be on? Do you think the pressure will be on once you get your signings then?
I'll be honest with you, I don't think we'll sign anyone from Saudi, but it's
your boys love a loan signing. Surprised you didn't vote for it. You love a veteran forward on loan, mate, from some next league from wherever, mate. So I'm surprised you didn't vote for it.
Hey, we still have models. We still have models. We want to hold on to them.
So you get it forward in January. We're going to get a Vegas and Carlo. Who are we going for?
Bro, listen. I'm sick of. You know what? I'm sick of January signings, man. I listen. It can be. We've had some bad signings in January, man. So I try to avoid it, man, if you can, man, because you don't really get any bargains. Sorry,
Falcao's a free agent, isn't he?
Is he? Oh, there we go, bro. Run it back.
Yeah. Round two, ding ding.
Nah, mate. Round two, man. Nah, mate. Ivan Toney, if you get him alone, that'll be a good one. Ivan Toney, get me that. You know what I mean? If you can get him, but I doubt it. I really do. But listen, big up to everyone here, man. We're going to wrap it up here. It's been a good show. Shout out to Charlie's coming. Big up to you, Charlie, man, for coming on, man.
No, I love having me as always, Side. Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Yeah, man. Big up to you, Dan Potts, as well. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Now, always, man. Big up everybody here. Make sure you like and subscribe, people. Make sure you support all the guys. And see you next time. Big up for having me on, Saeed.
Big up always, man. Always. Big up to you, Loaded Mag, Pete. Big up to you for coming on, man.
Yeah, pleasure. I've been a bit under the weather today, so there with last week. So it's been good to come and chat with the boys. And football's back. Always perks everyone up.
Yeah, man. Big up to you. And big up to Errol as well, man. Always coming on and showing his views and whatnot. What are you saying, man, Errol? Big up, man.
I can't make it next Thursday. We've got European duties, but
yeah. What did I say to you, man? I told you on Thursdays you can have the night off. I've told you already, man. I told you already.
Bro, you might be playing Thursdays pretty soon anyway, innit?
Listen, I don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
Look, bro, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, lads. It's always good to chop it up.
Saeed, do you want to come third or fourth, Saeed? What do you want to do?
I want to be out. I don't want to be.
You want to be out.
Nice are going to send them into the
out.
Hey, Potter, have you not heard? Nice are going to send them to the Conference League.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, it ain't easy. It ain't easy, guys. It ain't easy. But listen, people, man, we're going to wrap up here. Please, guys, if you're watching right now, please hit the like button. It just helps the channel out massively. Like I said, man, it's a free thing to do. So hit the like button. And I'll catch you tomorrow, guys, for another show, man. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.